Welcome to Taiwan News. I'm Viet Cuong. Today's headlines. Chinese ships keeping expanding protecting area against Vietnam's law enforcement vessels. Tourism development cooperation between Hanoi and Taiwan. Action Month for Children 2014 with theme For a Society Without Violence and Abuse Against Children. Now's the updates on the developments in the Eastern Sea where China had illegally placed its oil rig Haiyang Shuyo 981. Over the last days, Chinese ships have kept expanding the scope of preventing law enforcement vessels by 8 to 10 miles instead of only 5 to 8 nautical miles over the last previous days. In recent days, reconnaissance aircraft and helicopters regularly flew close to our law enforcement vessels. About 50 Chinese large fishing vessels in abnormal shapes were constantly moving in long lines at high speed to form a 1 nautical mile barrier. The distance between Chinese fishing boats moving around Vietnamese marine police vessels and fishing boats is very narrow. Therefore, our law enforcement vessels keep trying hard to avoid collision. According to the latest notable information received at 16 a.m. on May 26th, the Chinese fishing boat number 11209 collided with the 90152 DNA, sinking fishing boats of fishermen in Da Nang, 17 nautical miles southwest of the oil rig Haiyang Shuyo 981, within the exclusive economic zone and continental shelf of Vietnam. Fortunately, all the 10 fishermen on board of ship Da Nang were safely rescued. At the same time of the incident, there were 40 Chinese fishing boats surrounding unruly our vessels. Earlier on the 25th of May, from 10 nautical miles southwest of the rig, the oil rig was confirmed to have shifted its position. This is significant information while China is expanding the protection area of the rig. According to the Patrol Directorate of Vietnamese Marine Police, last 26th of May, the oil rig Haiyang Shuyo 981 was moved about 100 meters, but it was very difficult to determine the cause of the shift, considered to be a technical move since Vietnam forces did not have access to the rig. Meanwhile, the Vietnamese community in many countries around the world, together with their local friends, has continued to hold protests against Chinese aggression in the Eastern Sea. Participants expressed fiery spirit and determination to join the state and party in the struggle for Chinese authorities to respect the sovereignty of Vietnam. In Egypt, speaking at a meeting, Vietnamese ambassador to Egypt, Đào Thanh Trung, provided the community with the latest developments in the Eastern Sea, particularly the Chinese illegal placement of the oil rig Haiyang Shuyo 981 within the Vietnamese exclusive economic zone of 200 nautical miles, a serious violation of Vietnam's sovereignty and jurisdiction. China's aggressive actions have seriously violated international laws, including the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea and the agreement with the ASEAN in resolving problems of the Eastern Sea. In Zurich, Switzerland, many Vietnamese students and Swiss people unfurled banners in Vietnamese, English, and German as they march along the main roads of the city and gather outside Chinese consulate in Switzerland to protest against China's illegally placing its oil rig. Meanwhile, in Vietnam, on a blazing hot day in May, more than 200 students of the University of Languages and International Studies, Vietnam National University, were hands in hands to form the Edge Shape of Vietnam, singing the song, The Echoing Epic. More than 120,000 students from Hanoi Foreign Trade University formed the Edge Shape map with the slogan, joining hands to protect Vietnam's sovereignty over islands. Living in the atmosphere toward the islands, on the 24th of May, a music show titled Singing About the Home Islands was held at Taiwan Television Studio S1. The representatives from Vietnam Navy, Vietnam Coast Guard, Department of Vietnam Fisheries Inspection, the Venerable Abbot of Sinh Tôn Pagoda, Trường Sa District, Taiwan provincial leaders, together with hundreds of students from the universities in the province, joined the program.
The Paracel and Spratly Islands are parts of the most secret and oldest territories of Vietnam. Over the historical period, Vietnamese seas and islands have always been referred to as the flesh and blood of Vietnamese people. In the program Singing About the Home Islands, over 10 outstanding songs and dances were elaborately staged to praise the beauty of the nation, the sacrifice of soldiers on the top waves and Nguyên to protect the airspace and maritime territories. The special program was done in support of the protests against China's illegal activities in the territory's waters of Vietnam. Each performance had a spiritual emotion of living in the secret spirits of mighty mountains and rivers, and the artists performed with all the pride and ineffable love for the country. The program Singing About the Home Islands has expressed the confidence and love of people from different ethnic groups of Thái Nguyên province, a part of secret flags of the fatherland. The program served as a resounding voice in defending the sovereignty of the secret islands of the country and an affirmation that the Spratly and Paracel Islands belong to Vietnam. On this occasion, nearly 30 units and enterprises in the provincial areas have supported the soldiers on duty to protect the sovereignty of the secret islands in both the Paracel and Spratly Islands with an amount of nearly 500 million Vietnam dong.
And let's continue. On May 24th, the delegation led by Mr. Dương Ngọc Long, chairman of Thái Nguyên Provincial People's Committee, checked the building progress of the drainage and sewage treatment for Thái Nguyên City project. He was accompanied by Mr. Nhữ Văn Tâm, vice chairman of Thái Nguyên Provincial People's Committee, and the representatives of its department and agency. The project Drainage and Sewage Treatment for Thái Nguyên City was approved by Thái Nguyên Provincial People's Committee in 2000. After changing and adding on the engineering design a few times, to date the project was added with an investment of nearly 1,000 billion Vietnam dong. In particular, the ODA loans from the French Republic is over 400 billion Vietnam dong, and the counterpart fund from the central and local budget is over 500 billion Vietnam dong. Currently, all equipment and supplies are ready at the construction site, the wastewater treatment factory is under construction, and the concrete into the tank system has been installed over 5 kilometers of pipeline wastewater. Striving to end the first quarter of 2015, Phase 1 of the project will be completed, ensuring the wastewater treatment in the northern part of Thái Nguyên City. Speaking at the meeting, Chairman Dương Ngọc Long recognized and highly appreciated the efforts of the unit on overcoming the difficulties on the project implementation. At the same time, he requested the investors and the construction unit to continue getting rid of other difficulties to accelerate the progress and the quality of the work. Mr. Chairman also directed the departments and agencies to continue to coordinate, research, and complete the design of the drainage infrastructure connectivity to residential areas and industrial zones across the province. To strengthen the links and to promote the cooperation and tourism development, Thái Nguyên Tourism Association and Hanoi Tourism Association signed a cooperation agreement and at the same time participated in the program Domestic Tourism Stimulus 2014.
The memorandum states that the true association will promote and create the development of tourism products, create products associated with Regional Tourism Association of Thái Nguyên and Hanoi, and thrive with tourism product characteristic of each locality. Furthermore, both associations should coordinate with each other to research and eventually publish the specific researches about the tourism potential of each locality, establish and associate the online information websites, enhance the organization of meeting programs between member enterprises to create good conditions for the efficient cooperation of enterprises, and actively participate in Domestic Tourism Stimulus 2014 program in various forms and mutual support among the businesses. The signing of tourism development cooperation between Hanoi and Thái Nguyên is an important step to promote the development of local tourism. In particular, it will be to the advantage of Thái Nguyên province, where there are more favorable conditions for tourism development, but the tourism attraction does not commensurate with its potential. The members of Thái Nguyên Tourism Association need to quickly plan a strategy for its tourism development, gain experiences, learn overall skills for tourism enhancement.
For a society without violence and abuse against children, this is the theme of the Action Month for Children 2014, which has been launched on the morning of May 26th at Núi Voi Primary School, Đông Hỷ District, Thái Nguyên Province.
With this, the Action Month for Children 2014 concentrates on promoting education to raise the awareness of the whole society about the importances of protecting and taking care of children, commending typical individuals and groups who contributed much in children protection. In addition, involved agencies and branches at all levels are required to grasp all cases of difficult children for timely intervention and support. The Action Month for Children 2014 also creates Fund for Children, implements effective models of children protection, and builds social welfare quotas for children. On this occasion, Thái Nguyên Provincial Fund for Children offered 52 scholarships, each of them worth 500,000 Vietnam dong, while the Provincial Sponsoring Association for Handicapped People and Orphan Children gave 21 bicycles to hard-up children. Many other agencies and enterprises also gave meaningful gifts to children who overcame difficulties to study well.
And that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.